93.9 FM, KWSS. That was Haley Green, local music for you with a little Magic Whiskey. And the White Stripes kicking off this 9 o'clock hour for us with My Doorbell. Good morning, everybody. It's the final hour of this Wednesday Danny Cutler show. And as promised, my guest plus one is here. I have got Joshua from the Bayou Bandits here.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just rode up on the Harleys.
You did. And I think this is the first time that I've actually had to show ID at my own front door because you brought security with you.
Yes, ma'am. I did. He's my security slash manager slash personal confidant, Mr. Buddha here.
Oh, I love it. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks. I'm glad I passed.
Oh, great to be here. You're in good shape.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, I'm so excited. This is the first time we've actually met in person, though we've been friends on Facebook for quite some time.
Absolutely.
And I've played you before here on the show.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to be hearing that single later, but we'll get to that. Absolutely. But I'm so excited to have you here. It's good to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
And I'm very excited for your album release party tomorrow night at Valley Bar.
Yes, ma'am.
That's going to be a wonderful time. Oh my gosh, who you got? You got DL Marble, Haley Green. That's why I threw her in.
Absolutely.
And the Real Fakes joining you.
The Real
So
Fakes.
that's definitely going to be a party.
Oh, it's going to be a party.
For sure. So we're going to talk a lot more about that. But we're going to go back a little bit because I want to know how you formed Bayou Bandits.
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. So we were scheduled to play a corporate event. And at the time, I was in a band with my older brother, and he wound up moving back to Louisiana, where we're from. And so I had been out here for about a year or two already. And so we were playing a corporate event, and I was just going by the name Joshua Strickland. And they said, well, do you have a band, or is it just the Joshua Strickland band? And I said, well, I wanted something to kind of highlight where I was from in Louisiana, because I'm very proud to be from South Louisiana. And by the way, go Tigers for beating Alabama this past weekend. So got to throw that out there. But so they said, well, what do you want to call yourself then? It can't just be Joshua Strickland. And I said, well, how about the Bayou Bandits? And I said, well, Bayou, when people hear the word Bayou, they think of New Orleans, they think of South Louisiana. And Bandits, it kind of just went together because it just kind of flowed together. And so that's really how I came up with the name. And so that's where it all came from.
Well, there it is.
Yes, ma'am.
There it is. So did you already have your band together, or did you have to find them after that?
So when my brother left, I had to revamp the band. And so we were doing a lot of cover shows, and so we was playing at a lot of these big venues out here. But I wanted to really start doing more original music, and because it's fun playing covers, don't get me wrong, and you can make a lot of money doing it. But I wanted people to hear the messages that I wanted to say,
sure.
And so my lead guitar player, who's stuck with me from day one, a gentleman by the name of Jeremy Maggid, he said, all right, well, hey, let's revamp the band, and we'll still continue to play these cover shows, but we'll also work on our original music, kind of dipping both pots,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how we did it, and we recruited the other members of the band, and we just blossomed really from there.
Nice. It's good to play covers. I mean, if you want to it's the best way to draw an audience in.
Absolutely.
If you just go out there and nobody knows who you are and you're just playing originals, you don't keep them.
Exactly.
What makes their ears perk? They hear something they recognize.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then you just get them, and then they see how awesome your original stuff is.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
how
the
we
plan.
did it.
That's the plan. So awesome. Well, I am looking forward to the show tomorrow night for sure. We're going to talk a lot more about that, and we're going to talk about your album.
Yes, ma'am. And
we're going to play something off the album in the 939 local spotlight.
Awesome.
So very excited. A lot more coming up, and we might let Buddha do some talking too. I don't know.
let him tell you about the secret life of Joshua Strickland.
We'll have to figure out.
I don't think we could do that.
Some strange situations that he's had to actually protect.
He's actually
from.
Yes. There's been a couple actually.
I bet. Oh man, maybe I should have had you guys come in at 8 a.m. because we probably could talk for 2-3 hours easy.
No doubt.
All right, we got a lot more coming up with Joshua from. Can I call you Josh or is it Joshua?
Josh.
Does it matter?
No, ma'am. It's fine.
Okay, I didn't know. Some
or,
people
or hey you or yeah dude. Bro.
We got lots more coming up with Josh from Bayou Bandits, and of course they will be the 939 local spotlight. We're going to get back to the music here on 93.9 FM. Here's a little Dan Luke and the Raid and Black Cat Heavy Metal. 93.9 FM, KWSS. And we're always streaming at KWSS.org and with the TuneIn app. My guests are still hanging out with me this morning. I got Josh and Buddha here.
That's right.
Only one of them's one of the Bayou Bandits. One just makes sure that Josh is okay on stage. Apparently, pretty girls like to take selfies with you without even trying. We were talking off air.
Yeah.
I was saying that Buddha probably has a lot of good stories.
Now you get the jealous boyfriend come up and the girlfriend gives him attention, so you got to just make sure everybody stays in check and everybody's having a good time. That's all.
You're there for him.
Exactly.
You're there for him.
Absolutely.
I'm behaving myself this morning. I'm behaving myself.
You've been good. We're good.
Oh, my goodness. Well, this album and the release show tomorrow night at Valley Bar. Let's talk about the show first, and then we'll get into the album. So how did you choose this lineup for tomorrow's show?
Well, so Haley Green. So I had always seen her.
Say
name.
no more.
I know.
We love Haley.
I love her. And so I had always seen her name, but I had never really met her before. And so we did an original show at Yucca Tap. And as I was walking through the parking lot, one of the guys over there said, "Hey, this is Haley Green." And she said, "Have you ever met her?" I said, "No." And she said, "Hey, I know who you are. You know, I like your music."
Aww.
And I said, "Oh," and so we hit it off instantly. Yeah. And I had always heard her voice before, and I think she's a phenomenal singer.
She is.
We just hit it off, became buddies, and so I asked her if she'd like to jump in on the bill with us. And you know, we put out a little video on Facebook and YouTube the other day. It was cute.
Yeah.
And but I absolutely adore her. I think she's just she's a great singer and she's a beautiful person, you know.
Definitely.
And so we get along real well.
Good.
Yes,
good.
ma'am. And then with DL, so DL, so that's my buddy too. So one of my bass player also plays with DL as well. They've been playing together for a long time. And so DL and I hit it off pretty well, and I had seen him, and we had just kind of run in the same circles, you know, for quite a while. And everybody would always say that I was the 28-year-old version of DL Marble, and so then as he has a law enforcement background, and you know, with me being Army, you know, so we're kind of similar in a lot of walks of life, and I think he's a great singer. I mean, with DL. I mean, I sit there and listen to a lot of his songs too, and I personally think that he's one of the best lyricists. I mean, some of his songs and the lyrics behind them are just beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the dude knows how to write songs.
Yeah.
And so I asked him if he'd like to be on the bill, and he said, "Yeah, absolutely." You know, and so, but I'm a big fan of his work, big fan of his stories that he tells, you know, and the lyrics that he writes, and some of his songs are just, like I said, they really touch you in a special place,
Nice.
you know, and so I'm a big fan of his. So I asked him. And then with the Real Fakes, so that's an interesting story. So I'm a big fan of what was Chalmers Green.
Yeah.
And so obviously everybody knows the Black Moods and Josh Kennedy and the whole story, which I'm wearing the other Josh shirt today, because every time we're in a room, like I was saying, everybody's always says, "Hey, Josh Strickland," or "Hey, Josh Kennedy," or "No, hey, the other Josh," or "Good hair Josh," you know,
Good
talking
hair
about
Josh.
talking about
I was going to say, there's a bit of a distinction in hair on
there
the
is.
two of you.
I got the fade. He's
Just
got
a
the
bit.
long waves. I mean, he's got beautiful hair. And so I finally just said, "I'm the good news Josh," since, you know, he's got his song out, The Bad News. And so loved his music, by the way. But nonetheless, so with the Real Fake, so I'd always been a fan of Chalmers Green, and I had run into Kevin, Michael Pryor, who's their front man, many a times. And him and I just hit it off real well too. And
I feel like you just hit it off with everybody, no problem. You
yeah,
just have that kind of vibe to you. I love it.
I'm a very easygoing person. I mean, there are some folks, you know, that I'm not the biggest fan of.
That's
but,
them, not you.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly. But about 99% of the folks I meet, I get along with. And but I love Kevin, and I love his voice. Kevin, he has I mean, the dude can sing.
Yeah.
And you know, and he's kind of part of that whole Tempe music scene.
Definitely.
You know, with all the stuff that he's done.
Yeah.
You know, and so with our buddy Mark Norman. There was we
Vote
went to,
Mark
yeah,
Norman
I know.
2020.
Mark Norman 2020.
Tempe City Council.
That's right. And so there's our plug for you, Mark.
Yes.
And so, but anyways, what Kevin, there's a video. Him and I jumped up and did a song together at Mark's campaign rally and down here in Tempe somewhere, and they videoed it, and it was viewed all kinds of times. And so, and Kevin's just an easygoing dude. I mean, he's a Southerner, just like I am. You know, he's from Missouri. Well, I guess that's more Midwestern.
Yeah, but still, he's
but,
a
you know,
very
it's
sweet
a
person.
very, you know, it's a different part of the country, and so he's just a real easygoing dude. And I mean, the dude can sing, you know, and so that's kind of, I just asked them all. I said, hey, you know, I'd really appreciate it if y'all show support. And they said, hell yeah, you know. So then they all jumped in, and that's how we did it.
Nice.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a great lineup. I mean, it's going to be a great show.
I hope so. Yes, ma'am. And so we're promoting it, you know, trying to get as many folks out there,
Definitely.
you know, and they're all wonderful, fantastic
And
musicians.
Valley Bar. Have you ever played at Valley Bar?
No, ma'am.
You ever been to Valley Bar?
I have.
Okay, so
And-
you know, it's so nice. I mean, I love it. You like going down into a speakeasy almost.
Exactly. Well, and
It's
see,
good.
and that's the thing is that I wanted it to be a little bit different,
Yeah.
you know, because a lot of folks, and mind you, they're all great venues. Like I love Last Exit.
Oh, yeah.
I love Rock Bar. I love Rebel Lounge. But a lot of folks do their releases over there.
Yeah.
You know, I hadn't seen too many folks from a local lineup that had done a release at Valley Bar.
Right.
And so, you know, I got in touch with them, and they said, yeah, you know, that'd be awesome. Let's do it. And, you know, we stacked the lineup with all heavy hitters from
Yeah.
the local scene. You know, so it's all local Arizona music.
It is a solid lineup.
You know, and so everybody here has kind of made a name for themselves in the local market. You know, with the Real Fakes, they played out at Apache Lake this past year. Haley,
Yeah.
I believe she played at Apache Lake, and I know she was down at Side Pony. DL, he's played everywhere. You know, so
No,
you
it's
know,
great.
Then
It's
there's
going to
us.
be
So
a fantastic night of
Yeah,
music,
yes, ma'am.
definitely. So tell me about this album. You've got 1, 2, 3, 6, 7.
7.
I can count 7 songs on this album.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're about to hear The Swamp, but give us some background on putting this album together.
Yes, ma'am. So we put out the single, "Take Me Back," a while back, and it got some pretty good radio play out here. So I know it was featured on your show. Thank you for that. But it also got some airplay down in Tucson. I know it got some radio play down in Louisiana, obviously
Nice.
where I'm from, and different things like that. So it built up a pretty good little fan base, and so a lot of the folks started to get a little anxious about, hey, when y'all gonna release some more music? Some more music. So we just really started writing it, you know, and put it all together, and then we just needed, you know, to find a place to record it, which we did. We found a great guy. We recorded at 2 places. So we recorded the single at the Salt Mine with Don Salter.
That's a great place.
Oh, beautiful place.
I love that place.
Absolutely. And so we absolutely, you know, love the place and respect Don and all of his work and everything that he's done. And then we released the rest of it. We did over at this place called Sound Vision with a gentleman by the name of Mr. Michael Beck.
Okay, yeah.
And so Michael Beck, he does all of the Alice Cooper Proof is in the Pudding.
Yep, Michael's great.
And so phenomenal. I mean, the dude is a great engineer, but he's also a great producer. I mean, he says, hey, Josh, I want you to sing this like this, you know, or hey, I think you need to, you know, put this line right here or rearrange, you know, the way you're singing it. I mean, the dude was just...
He's got a great ear.
He's got a great ear. And he's a fellow musician.
Yep.
You know, so just absolutely loved recording over there, and was super happy with the product, and so yeah, that's how it came about.
So, are these songs that you've been sitting on, or did you do some writing, knowing that you like after "Take Me Back"? Were you like, oh, I got to write more songs? Did you already have them, or a combo?
Well, a couple of them we had been sitting on,
and
then about 2 of them that we had written since, and then. But majority of them, we just needed to just finish the final product.
Yeah.
You know, we needed to just kind of finish piecemealing.
It's good motivation.
Yes, ma'am, it was. And so we got a lot of requests. I mean, everybody was, hey, you know, when you're going to do that, when you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, when you're going to do it. And then
stardom problems.
Exactly. And so we wanted to get more time out doing festivals as well. So we wanted to, you know, get an invite to Apache Lake. We really wanted to play Circus, you know, and January Jam and all that. But more importantly, we wanted to bring Southern rock.
Sure.
You know, because there's not too many folks out here that are playing that. I mean, I'm a big fan of Jim Bachman. I love that dude to death.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and Coltrane's, they're doing their thing as well. But I wanted to bring a little bit of that swamp voodoo swamp sound because that's who I am, where I'm from. And so not too many folks can emulate that out here.
And that's what I noticed. So, I mean, I've listened to Jim's new album. Coltrane's I haven't heard a lot from, but Laura Hamlin just put,
Absolutely.
Actually, they played at Laura's release show. So she's got her new thing going on.
And I listened to that on the way to Mexico. It was great. So shout out to Laura. Beautiful voice.
Definitely. But what I notice is that your music seems to have, I mean, you get the Southern, you get the rock, you get a little bit of desert vibe in it, but it's got this grit to it that makes you stand out a little bit different from even like Jim's stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
It's just a different vibe there.
I like to fancy myself as a good rhythm player. I'm a good guitar player. So
you are,
but I'm not a lead player.
Yeah.
I'm a rhythm guitar player. But there's folks that are known for being a guitar player. There's folks that are known for being a great drummer. There's folks that are, that sing, but, folks will say, he's a better guitar player than he is a singer. I've always been known for having a voice, and one credit that I really give a lot of that to is learning how to emote, and project was obviously the Army, because I had to learn how to,
didn't have a choice
be loud.
There,
I had to learn how to be loud, but, was my daddy. My daddy, he used to always tell me, because when I was a little boy, I used to always look up to and I still look up to my older brother, Justin. Justin was a phenomenal singer, and I used to always try to be like my big brother, anyways, it kind of makes me a little teary-eyed, Sorry.
It's okay.
And so, but he's significantly older than I am, and so he moved back to Louisiana to be closer to his children. And anyway, I used to always try to emulate my brother. And so my daddy would always tell me, and he had won Battle of the Bands, from the Army, and, he did all this stuff. And my daddy would always tell me, hey, you need to find your own voice. He'd always say, stop trying to be like Elvis, stop trying to be like your brother, stop trying to be like this or stop trying to be like that, whatever. Find your own voice. And so I just worked on it, and learned how to kind of move it and project where I needed to, and it's turned out to be a blessing because there's not too many folks that say, he sounds like this guy or sounds like that guy. It's his own style, because there's some folks I listen to and I'm like, oh, that's Amy Winehouse. It sounds just like Amy Winehouse, or, hey, that person sounds like Chris Cornell, or, something like that. It's hard for me to find somebody that can really compare myself to. Yeah. So it's been an interesting journey.
It's like you took your influences. So if your brother is an influence, you might have Elvis as an influence, whoever your influences are.
Yes, ma'am.
And you made it into your own thing. And I think that's great.
Yes, ma'am.
Your daddy's a wise man.
He is a wise man. And then, like Don Salter, I respect the heck out of him. He's the owner of Salt Mine.
Yeah.
And so he's recorded all these big time people, and we were featured in a magazine, a long time ago whenever Take Me Back first came out. And so I didn't even realize they were going to interview Don. But Don really said it best. He said, exactly like he said, he sings with true grit, and you can feel his words because he's lived it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my experiences, like when I'm on stage, I try to, remember the feeling of when I wrote something,
right,
or the way it made me feel. That way I believe what I'm singing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole goal, is to get the listener to kind of say, damn, I feel like I'm right there with them. You
cannot go wrong if you do this for you.
Yes, ma'am.
There's just no way to go wrong. You do it for you.
Yes, ma'am.
And everyone will feel that.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what brings them in.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
at least that's how I feel about
Absolutely.
it. So you got to do it for you.
I try to capture everybody, and when you hear Joshua Strickland singing, it ain't no whisper. That's for sure. The whole room, room can hear it.
It is true, and we're going to find out right now. We should get to the 939 local spotlight.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're going to play The Swamp.
Yes, ma'am.
Give us some background on that.
Well, those lyrics were primarily written by my lead guitar player, Jeremy.
Okay.
And I helped change up a few things, and different things like that. But Jeremy's from Jersey.
Ah.
And so I have thus converted him to...
I was going to say, that's nowhere near Louisiana.
To a Louisiana man. And he says, well, New Jersey, New Orleans, at least they got the same new in it, And so
there are some swampy places in Jersey.
Yeah, exactly. and so, but he understands my vibe, you know. And so when he sat down and wrote a lot of these lyrics, and I helped him add on to it and change things around, he was kind of putting himself in the swamp, you know, like on the run.
Okay.
You know, and the song talks about heartbreak, and you know, it's actually kind of it's a fun song, but it's kind of got like a little bit of a dark message because it's about heartbreak and being on the run and hiding out in the swamp and yeah.
But you can groove to it.
But you can groove to it, and that's what we like to do, make it groove.
Love it. I love it. Well, let's let everybody hear this.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's do it. Today's 9:39 local spotlight on 93.9 FM KWSS. Here are the Bayou Bandits and the Swamp. All right, we are wrapping up this Wednesday edition of the Danny Cutler Show here on KWSS 93.9 FM. Josh, thank you for hanging out with me.
Yes, ma'am. It's been a pleasure.
Buddha, thank you for hanging out with me.
I enjoyed it.
It's
My
good
pleasure.
to meet you.
Absolutely.
I loved you, like, talking about the history and you know, name dropping those people you know. And I was like, oh, my 70s, 80s rock and roll heart is just like beating fast.
Jogging the memory a little bit.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, I do a retro hour here on the show, and every now and then I get some classic rock in. So usually it's more Depeche Mode, New Order type stuff. But every now and then I throw in some Yes. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it just, yeah. So it's very cool. So it's great to meet you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for
Enjoyed
taking care of this guy.
It's a challenge, but
I bet.
Yeah, he keeps me in line.
So Bayou Bandits. The album release show is tomorrow night at Valley Bar. Things start at doors at 7?
Yes, ma'am.
Doors at 7. When's the show? 7:30?
Yes, ma'am. 7:30, and then Haley Green's going to be kicking it off.
Nice.
And then following Haley is going to be DL Marble. And then following DL is the Real Fakes.
Nice.
And then following them is going to be us.
Excellent.
Yes, ma'am. So
it's
a great
gonna be
lineup.
So much fun. They are also with the first 50 people who get tickets, you get a free CD. So
Absolutely.
I would take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
For sure. But it will also be available to stream.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So we got the pre-sale orders out, so you can go find that on iTunes, Google Music, Amazon Play,
anywhere there's music,
anywhere, all digital streaming platforms.
Nice.
I mean, so go out, purchase it. You'll love it. Support local music.
Absolutely.
You know, got a lot of fantastic musicians out here in the Valley, and especially being a newcomer to the Arizona music scene, I'm very grateful that they've taken the Louisiana kid in with open arms and you know, just wonderful world-class musicians out
it's
here.
What I love about the community here in Phoenix. So
Absolutely.
many other cities just do not have the same type of community with
Absolutely.
their local music scene.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't get this in LA. You don't
No.
get this in New York.
No.
You know, and here in Phoenix, I mean, it's just one big family.
Absolutely.
And I love it.
And, you know, especially with the genre that I really do, you know, it's that Southern rock, like swampish voodoo type stuff. You know, it's not necessarily the same genre as it is here in Arizona, but a lot of folks have been real receptive and have brought me into their circle. And so I'm really grateful for the Arizona musicians out here and them giving me a chance to become a part of their scene. So now I feel like I'm in the scene with them.
You are.
Yes, ma'am.
You are in, and you can never leave.
Yes, ma'am. Never.
You're in it. You're a lifer now. You're a lifer, definitely.
Yeah.
So how can people find Bayou Bandits online?
So go to Facebook. Our Facebook is facebook.com/the Bayou Bandits, and Bayou is not spelled B-Y or B-U-Y-Y-O-U. Bayou is spelled B-A-Y-O-U.
Yes.
Bandits.com. So facebook.com/the Bayou Bandits. Instagram, the Bayou Bandits official. We have our website up as well.
Excellent.
It's thebayoubandits.com. So go check that out and just go follow us and support local music, and we'd be more than grateful.
Oh, great. Well, good luck on your show tomorrow. It's going to
Yes,
be
ma'am.
so much fun.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. Anytime you want to come out to the Southeast Valley to my super secret studio, you are welcome.
It's beautiful.
And we'll have a good time. I'd love to have you on anytime. Even not talking about anything specific. You'll just be my co-host.
Yes, ma'am.
It'll be great.
Thank you.
If it's okay with Buddha.
Absolutely.
I feel like things have to go through him. I don't know.
He keeps me safe.
All right. Thanks again, you guys. All right. That is it for the Danny Cutler Show Wednesday edition. I will be back at noon today for Danny's Diner. Throwbacks from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Rob Porter is up next. And we've got Jay Cairo from 3 until 7. And it is Wednesday. That means the Vibes Alive radio show is in your ears tonight from 7 until 10. So just keep it here all day long. No reason to change the station. I'll catch you guys at noon. Enjoy the rest of your morning. Taking us out this morning, another Bayou Bandits song, Take Me Back.
Yes,
Going to
ma'am.
be throwing that in. So enjoy, and hopefully you get out to the show tomorrow night. Keep rocking local. You'll hear me again soon.